Hello everyone, it's me Jenny and welcome to my D&D show thing. So for this week's D&D and Me, for this week's session in my D&D campaign, we basically had a shopping session. We got back to town after taking out the bear cult. We did some just basic keep and upkeep and stuff. Nightshade, my panther, now has armour, which I had commissioned before I went. We had it commissioned from the Elven City before we went to the village that had been taken over by the bear cultists, so I got back and it had been finished. So yeah, and so Nightshade has now got an extra, I think a +2 to AC or +1 to AC, which is awesome. So I don't have to worry quite so much about him getting murder-faced. Other than that, pretty much we did shopping. I obviously came in 20 minutes, 30 minutes late in, so I think my group were taking on some mimics when I got in. I think they'd gone to the village hall to see what loot they could plunder from the village that they'd rescued, and so they were taking on like a disgruntled magical carpet and a mimic. So sadly I can't comment on that because I got there too late to really know what the context was, and I just heard that they were killing a mimic. And then the rest of the game was shopping, so it wasn't that eventful an episode, but it was one of those kind of sessions that you need to have once in a while where you just deal with the shopping. We got a hat of disguise for one of our members of our campaign is actually the Emperor's daughter who has run away. Only my character knows that she's the Emperor's daughter who has run away, as she's the only character that also knows about my character's history. So we decided to purchase that hat of disguise for her, so she's got a means of being slightly more subtle. Even though my disguise kit is pretty awesome because I'm a charlatan, so I have a disguise kit, but it's good that she's got a more permanent means of disguise, which would be good. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing too eventful. We've worked out that our next kind of direction will be go to a city called Drasnia, which is part of my character backstory, so I'll be interested to see whether or not Peter, our DM, plays into that a little bit. It'll be really interesting, I don't know if he actually will, but I'm here for this coming week, but the week after I'll be in Spain, so I'll be interested to see whether or not he can bring in some of my character backstory as a reason for why I'm not in that week's session. I don't know if he will. It'll be interesting to see if he does. But in the meantime, my character has done a couple of subtle things, like slightly change her hair colour because she's got a disguise kit, because there was a lot of bad stuff that went on while she was last in Dresnia. So she's got a couple of people that she wants to hide from. I'll be interested to see again whether or not Peter plays into any of that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for D&D and Me. So, for today's D&D and We, Critical Role came back. Yes. So not as long a hiatus as I was expecting, but yeah, we just had a 3-4 hour long dragon battle, a continuous dragon battle on top of already having had a good couple of hours the previous bout. It definitely feels like now that the characters are so high level, the battles will take a long time to complete, and I feel like there might have to be some careful management of that, because it's very hard not to get slightly tedious when you've got to spend 4 hours on a battle and keep the tension up and keep the pace up and keep it from getting too stagnated, which I trust Matthew Mercer to be able to deal with, but at the same time it's a lot of pressure in order to keep it interesting when it is just a intense, continuous. I'm just going to use the word contense from now on, yeah, we go. Continuous and intense, in order to keep both of those going on at once, is a challenge that I think he will rise to, but I will be interested to see how he rises to it. I feel like, given that Umbrasyl is theoretically the easiest dragon to take on, both from a standpoint of progression, so from now on all the dragons will be slightly more of a challenge, but also from the concept that I haven't reread recently, but I'm pretty sure that black dragons have the lowest intelligence, but the highest kind of pageantry for really disturbing violence. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not the other dragons they're going to be more fearful and more hesitant, knowing that two of them have now been killed, but I think it's going to make it even more challenging, which might lead to even more battles and even more stress. But yeah, I was impressed with the battle. I like the characters made a lot of very interesting, unique choices, particularly Scanlan, as he always does. A lot of innuendo in this episode. My God, some intensely lewd innuendo. But there you go. It was interesting to have one of the Wizards of the Coast actually partake in the game, playing a character that's really not so much of the world that Matthew Murphy's built, but it was nice to have him woven in, and our first actual gender change for the entire game so far. The first time we've had male characters playing female characters, which is awesome. It's nice to see that and kind of indulge in that level of like, you know, indulging in the fact that you can, and it's the first time we've seen it actually in Critical Role. It's nice to see it represented, especially with an older character who she's very interesting, and yeah, it was nice to have that different flavour into the episode, without it being a full guest spot. He didn't take over the episode, but he added a new texture to it, which is really well done. And yeah, that's about it for today. Feel free to comment, and next week I will do a video. The week after I'll be in Spain, so hopefully I'll have something else up to fill the gap. But there we go. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys all next week for another D&D show thing. Bye guys.